So here we are, 1 year after my vitrectomy surgery. And everybody wants to know, so what's it like? Can you live your life? I think the answer is yes, I can live my life. And I can live pretty well. I want to start with the positive. After my surgeries were done, I had a little time this summer. And I was able to go to the beach. I was able to go in the water. I was able to walk the beach without needing corrective glasses and see pretty well. I was able to go on bike rides and tour the town. It was really a lovely town there in Cape May. And I was able to deal with traffic and see people next to me on the bike. But I felt confident enough and I could see well enough to do that. This fall I've been going for hikes. I live near the Appalachian Trail and I love to hike in the fall when the leaves are turning and when the leaves are falling and you get some great views. And I was able to do that. So I think it's pretty good. What I can say though is we are in the period of coronavirus. I would be doing even more and I'd have more leisure activities to report on if we were not in the period of coronavirus. So I'm kind of limited in the things I've done. But going to the beach and going around Cape May, that's a lot of activity using my eyes. And the same with going on hikes. That is a lot of activity, plus my work. So that is the positive, and that's where I wanted to start. The next thing I want to talk about is the timeline. This is a year out, and for a lot of you, you may be starting on that timeline, or you may be a few weeks or months down the road on that timeline for your vitrectomy, but you want to know the whole thing. You want to know all the stages, and you want to know where you'll be at the end. So let me briefly give you the timeline for me, and I'll include a link below for those of you that just want to skip to my summary of what's different now and what's reduced a year after with the vitrectomy. But the whole process, for most people to really know where they are, will probably take about a year. And so for me, last January, I discovered I had a detached retina. I immediately had surgery the day after I saw the retina specialist, and that involved a long and hard recovery period from that surgery. And I will include a link below, or maybe above. I will include a link to go look at the angst I experienced during that period, because you probably are feeling that angst, but I don't want to redo that here. At about the 3-month mark, I had a checkup to determine the health of my retina and if healing was going well. And I had also at that point finally been rid of the gas bubble. And I will include a link up above to that period of time if that's about where you are, where you have the gas bubble and you're waiting for it to leave or you're waiting for your checkup. And at that point then, the next milestone was in another 3 months when I'd have my 2 cataract surgeries. I needed to find a cataract surgeon and come up with a plan to have those surgeries. I would need both eyes to have a surgery so that they would be in balance. And I also have a video from that period of time at about 4.5 to 5 months out, and I will include a link to that rather than rehash all that here. So after that, I had my cataract surgeries, and there were complications. And many of you will probably have to have cataract surgeries too, because the vitrectomy will advance your cataracts and make you need to have them much younger than you normally would have. I'm only 55, but by the time the gas bubble was out of my eye, my cataract was from just being a slight yellow film, which is normal for somebody at 55, to giving a very distorted view, and so it needed to be addressed. So If you want more detail on my 2 cataract surgeries and the problems I had with my cataract surgery and having the added difficulty of needing astigmatism corrective lenses put in my eyes, I could make a separate video on that. But I want to stick to really the vitrectomy and life after vitrectomy, assuming cataract surgeries all go perfectly. So after some surgeries and corrective surgeries to get the cataract issue and lens correct, I was then ready to start living life after a month of healing. So it was about the end of the summer, and we were able to spend a week in Cape May, which was wonderful. And then I came back here and worked from home. But I was able to work from home now. I first used drugstore readers to read, but now I have prescription glasses, and I have them, and they are slight distance correction on the top, and on the bottom they are readers. And I use those when I'm working. I work in computers. My left eye is really good. I see clearly with my left eye now, and it's really wonderful to see at a distance, to look outside, to see the birds, to see the trees. I love having this good distance view. It does come at a price. I cannot read, I can't see things this close to me without glasses. I mean, I see my hand, but it's too blurry to really read. So I have to hold things way out, or I've got to wear glasses to read. But that's okay. For my peripheral vision, because the laser surgery that was done in the right eye was much more extensive to repair the retinal damage than the minor laser surgery done on the left side to reduce the chance of retinal detachment. Because the right side had the actual detachment, had a much more involved surgery, I now no longer see this. I see this in the camera that I'm waving this hand next to my ear, but I don't see it in my peripheral vision. Now here, that I see. I can look at the camera, but I see my hand. So I have lost a good bit of peripheral vision, and like where it shows up if I'm walking with somebody, and they're here at this shoulder, they're walking over here, and I can talk to them. I know they're there if we're talking, but if we stop talking, I might think they drop back, or I might bump into them because they'd really have to be in front of me for me to really catch them in my peripheral vision. So I've lost that on this side because of the extent of lasering they did to attach the retina on that side. Looking straight ahead though, my macula was on, which was lucky for me, and he did have to get close to the macula in the repairs, but at least my dead on, what I am staring at, what I'm really focusing on with my right eye is good. And that is a matter of me being lucky that it didn't get to the macula or didn't happen at the macula, versus some people who will have a different location for their detachment or a problem with their macula. So that is a loss. And the other loss that I see on this side is in bright light. In perfectly wonderful light, I see really good with this eye and really good with my left eye. Now it's becoming evening, and there's still light. There's still plenty of adequate light to see. But now what changes is it's a little bit harder to see in low light with the left eye, but it becomes much harder to see in low light with the right eye. And now what I am looking at, I can still focus on it, I can still concentrate on it, and it is pretty clear. But what is around it, all that space over here to the right now is more blurry, more out of focus, more disorienting. The other disorienting thing I notice is walking from room to room in a house. I'll be in one room with the lights on, and I don't need to turn the lights on in the next room or in the hallway. And just going from a well-lit room to a room that's not, there is a disorienting, this is all blurry over here, feeling till I get back to another well-lit room. So that is another feeling, sensation that I have with the retinal detached eye and the vitrectomy eye. The other thing that is disturbing with it is seeing waves in things that should have perfectly straight lines. So maybe I'm reading text across a page and it'll wave a little bit. Letters might scrunch a little bit. I'll be looking at a doorway and I know that the moldings and the door is perfectly straight, and yet I will see little ripples or indentations that I know aren't there. Those are really minor, and actually those are something I had in the early phases that were more extreme, that are less extreme now, but they're still there, and I think they're going to stay there. I think they will always be there. The other thing, which I actually find comforting, and it's kind of weird, but when it's really dark at night and when I go to bed, I've had the lights on, turn them off, it's pitch black, and I go to bed, I have this soft green glow on the right side of my face. So I'm there laying in bed, and I see this little glow below my head, or if I sleep on the other side, there's this little glow above my head. I kind of like it, but I think it represents my vision loss. But that's like a side effect that I have. Reading is good, but it's because my left eye is bearing most of the burden. When I close this eye and I read with my readers with my right eye, I can do it. And the letters are relatively clear, but they're slightly distorted even though they're clear. I think it's related to some of that waviness that I was talking about. So that is my basic summary of how it is for daytime and evening light. When it comes to nighttime and when it comes to driving, let me finish with daytime by saying driving, I'm surprised at how comfortable I am. But I think the thing with driving is peripheral vision has some importance, but when you're moving forward, something that comes at you right from the side, there's just nothing you're going to do about it, even if you get a glimpse of it in your peripheral vision. So it's looking ahead plus a little to the side, and when you want to look to the side in driving, I'm turning my head anyway when I really want to see. I'm not going to trust what I think I see in peripheral vision, even in my left side. I'm going to turn my head. So I feel confident by day with my driving, and it's easier for me to take my glasses off to drive, because what I find is if I have my glasses on, then this stuff is all perfectly clear and this stuff is a little blurry, and my glasses do a slight correction for above, but they're for reading down here, and it's just easier to drive without my glasses. I see much better, and by daytime that's fine. The correction that my glasses give me is so minor for daytime that I feel more confident without them. Now at night, it's a little bit different. At night, I can still see well if I know where I'm going. But what I notice is reading street signs with my glasses off, or even with them on, but seeing things too low in the lens, is things will streak out to the side. So a reflector on the road will streak outward. The reflective lettering on signs will streak upward, and it'll be hard to read. And what I have to do, which is really annoying, is when I'm driving at night, I gotta tuck my chin down and look out the top of my glasses, or put my glasses down my nose and look out this part to see clearly. So I don't know if I need like driving glasses or something like that for at night. But what I found is, if I don't really need to read the signs, like signs are the worst. But I see pretty good. It's hard to explain. There's a streakiness to the signs and to headlights, but I still see good. So I feel confident even driving at night, except if I was going somewhere where I didn't know and I needed to see the street signs, I would either wear my glasses and get a kink in my neck, or that's the next thing I need to talk to my optometrist about. I need to say, I wonder if I need glasses for driving at night, because the multi-purpose reading and distance glasses, it's just not enough distance, and I have to crink my neck to see what's above me. So my belief for going forward is that I am not going to see a lot of change or improvement. I believe that my left eye is going to be what gets me through most things, and my right eye is just there for extra benefit. I'm glad I have it. I'm glad I have this vision. But in every way, when I measure it, it's not as good as my left. But I'm grateful to have it. And I think it's really, I'm lucky to live now and not 100 years ago, when this could be saved. And probably 100 years ago, my right eye, I'd be blind, and probably the same thing would have happened in my left eye without the preventative surgery. So on the one hand, I'm really grateful. On the other hand, a lot of you have asked, what could have been done differently? What could I have done differently? What could your doctors have done differently to avoid this? If that's something you want me to talk about, it's another thing to let me know in the comments or send me an email. So if you want to know more about my cataract surgery and my cataract surgery issues, complications, that whole track, I could do a video on that. And I could just do a video on what I think about prevention. I could do that, but I don't want to bother you with that if nobody's interested in it. But since so many people wanted to know what's it like now, I wanted to do this video. So I hope you're doing well. And I hope that this video has been helpful to you. And if you are somewhere on this journey up to a year and you're wondering what will it be like, each case is different. I didn't have macula off. I think everything went well. I didn't have scarring along the way, excessive scarring along the way that required my procedures to be redone, so I'm lucky. And hopefully and probably you'll be there too. So hopefully this is a help to you to know that I'm at least one more person who got through this and is able to have a pretty fun life and do a lot of the things that I used to do before this all happened. And I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid, super afraid that I'm going to lose my vision, and I'm not afraid that I can't see well enough to be safe. So, one more thing I want to add. It's also easier to take a walk in the woods without my glasses. You know, you can look down and see the leaves and the branches pretty clearly, but when you're in the woods, you want to look down a little bit and look ahead. And I have to do the same thing kind of with my with driving. I have to really look down to see clearly the twigs and the rocks when I'm taking a hike versus looking straight ahead. So when I go for a hike, I take off my glasses because this is too blurry when I'm looking at the ground through this part of my glasses. So rather than look down and look up and look down and look up, I just take the glasses off, and it's much better. Okay, good luck. Let me know if there's anything I really should have told you that you really wanted to know at this point and it didn't occur to me that you would. And I'll try to answer that in the comments, and I wish you all the best of luck.